Hey, my name's Eric, and this is going to be an update video. It's been a while since I've talked to you, and so I wanted to tell you Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll preemptively tell you Happy Martin Luther King Day. It's been a while. I haven't really felt like making videos because it stresses me out so much. And I think I privated my videos for a while because I'm kind of embarrassed by them. Actually really embarrassed by them, but not so much anymore. And said I wanted to update you. I want to update you on how I've been. Because I care about you guys, and I want you to care about me, and that'll strengthen this relationship here. It'll make you enjoy the videos more if you know what's going on. And I think there's something for you to learn from this, at least those of you that are younger than me or my peers, because the ones of you that I've talked to seem to have some of the similar problems, and so I wanted to share my journey with you. Want to share it with you. Yeah. So, past few years, I've basically lived in a cloud of anxiety and depression, and I didn't realize it till it was way too bad and things were going bad. So back to what we were doing. I've written down, sort of mapped out what I'm going to talk about, and is it the same train or a new train? It's the same train. Okay. Talk about me getting better. Getting better. That's an easy thing to say. Like, you'd ask someone, "How are you?" and they'd say, "Oh, I'm better." Like, you can pass by that really easily, but I really mean it. I'm better. I feel so much better, and I'm trying to share it with you guys. The first thing I wrote down, which was just a phrase that was in my head, it was things are bad until they aren't. Things are bad until they aren't. And you're probably thinking, wow, where can I buy your book? So profound. But I really mean it. I think I just said that. I felt so good, like, starting in, like, mid-December through now. But right all through October and November, I was miserable. Just like a different miserable from when I was like 6 months ago, but almost more painful. And it was like new, just, it felt like a boat propeller was just turning in my chest, and it was just really bad. And now all of a sudden it's just like something just happened and it all got better. And so I've been trying to figure out how it happened. And next thing I wrote is, how did I do it? First of all, to be totally honest, I am on an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety medicine. I won't tell you what exactly, but I started it about 9 months ago. Yeah, coming up on 11 months, I think. And so that's probably got something to do with it. Secondly, I started going to therapy in August here at my university. They have a counseling center. I go once a week. Haven't been in a while, but during the school semester, I would go once a week. And even though I didn't feel like my life changed because of it, it was just good to talk to someone every week, because sometimes I don't talk to a single person all day, other than like at like a drive-through or like a cashier or something. So that was probably the main benefit of that. So those things helped. Probably didn't hurt. Antidepressants did fuck me up in some other ways. Like I haven't had an appetite in forever, and I hit a cat with my car because I was like because I was kind of like a messed up driver for a week because I was kind of foggy. That's the word I'd use for it. Foggy. Does my hair look okay? Nope. Oh well, good enough. What was I talking about? Okay, so medicine, therapy, that's like that's literally what the doctor prescribed. But what I think has really made the difference, looking back over the last year, is venturing out. Or to use a cliche, getting out of your comfort zone. And because that has been part of almost every month since then. There's been something new, and I think that's how I've been able to, like, I sort of imagine my depression or anxiety is like I'm down in a hole, and there are stairs to climb up, but each stair has a thumbtack on it, and so it hurts to climb up out of those stairs. It's not a sheer rock wall that you can't climb out of, but it's not an escalator either. You can't just take the medicine and you'll ride the elevator or the escalator up to the top. No, it's the medicine. The way I like to hope it worked is it took away the thumbtacks that were on the stairs, so I was able to climb up on my own without it being so painful. That's how I like to think of it. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair. Yeah, venturing out. And okay, so you might think, well, duh. It's like the thing that, it's like, of course, Eric, the thing that stresses me out so much, if I just did it, then I'd be happy. Like, if I just got over it, then I'd be happy again. But that's not what I mean. I mean, it's an incremental process. And so let me talk you through. So, but bear with me. I'm not telling you to just overcome your biggest fears or anything, because that's not how this works. So bear with me, and I'll walk you through. So like last year, like late February, March, I had to drop out of college. Went home. I was completely in like recovery mode. Like my brain thought that I'd been like, it was, I don't know where I was going with that, but it was bad. And so I was at home. I was just basically like a giant child. Like I was just like, give me food. I'm gonna watch YouTube videos, play video games, and I just recovered. Like I had some terrible traumatic thing happen to me, but it was really just all in my head. And so I what did I do? Oh, I'm sorry. I've gotten it out of order. So, while things were going really bad, as things were coming to, whether you see it as the climax or the low point of my amount of anxiety, I started coaching little kid soccer, just on a whim. It was a weird set of, the thing that made me so unhappy was me failing at this certain thing, and that opened up the time for me to do this coaching job. And so that was very lucky. And so I did that, and it stressed the hell out of me. That's probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been, was being in charge of these 4 and 5 year olds, because they are a handful. Like I was a few of them, one of them, I was their first, like they hadn't even started kindergarten yet. And a few of them, other than their kindergarten teacher, I was like the only person other than their parents that like they interacted with. So it was a lot of responsibility, and it was almost all of theirs, all the kids' first sport, and so it was really intense, and I loved the kids so much, and I'd never felt anything like that, and it was overwhelming. And so that's what got me up in the morning. It's what put me to sleep in tears. It's what made me scream while driving down the highway. It's what made me pace around the hallway like a maniac, but it's also what I like lived for, and I'm gonna remember that forever. And it was extremely uncomfortable. It was my first job technically, because I got paid for it, and I had to interact with the parents that had their precious little babies out there. So I did that in the spring, and then as that was finishing up, I was such a mess, I dropped out of school because I was failing all my classes. So that's very uncomfortable. So I went home, sort of built back up, tried to, let's get my head on straight. And I went to one of my old high school's track meets that was going on. And if I hadn't dropped out of school, I wouldn't have been able to go to that. So I showed up, and it was a very stressful thing, because I was going to have to go and talk to all these younger kids I don't know or look up to me, or that I sort of look up to because they're really better athletes than me or something, and the other coaches that were formerly my coaches. And a lot of my anxiety has to do with my relationship with coaches, just because I care way too much about it. And so it was really tough. I used all of my bravery for that whole like month of April to go to that. And when I was there, the old as in former, he's not old, he's like 32, coach asked me if I could take his spot when I told him that I would coach those little kids soccer team. He asked me to take his spot because he was becoming an assistant principal, coaching the high school team, at least over the summer, and helping out. And so that meant so much to me, and that really, like I was brave enough to coach the little kids soccer. I was brave enough to go to that very, very loud, stressful track meet, and like force myself to talk to people, force myself to talk to this guy that I look up to so much, even though in my eyes I had failed them. That's a whole different story. What was I talking about? Because I was brave enough to go there, that gave me a new thing to do. Because coaching, it's what I want to do when if I stay in what I'm going to school for, is to like teach and coach sports. And it's what I've wanted to do forever, and it's like my obsession. And so this was like, I had been presented with my dream job, and it was also a huge, it really meant so much to me that guy, that teacher becoming a principal that everyone loves so much, thought that I could take his place. And so that was massive. And and that was caused by getting out of my comfort zone. And then in May, June, I finally bought my stuff to start my YouTube channel, which started with a completely different goal in mind, and I won't talk about that, but I got over the massive hump of stress and anxiety to buy the stuff, because like tech equipment is expensive, and I've been wanting to do it forever, and I had such high standards that I was way freaked out about what I was going to get, and I finally just said, I'm gonna do it. If I don't use it, I can just sell it back. It'll be all right. And so sorry, getting distracted. Yeah, so I finally got that. That might be such a small thing. You're like, oh, I buy stuff off Amazon every day, but that sort of thing is a big deal for me to just like drop hundreds of dollars on stuff. That just wiped me out, and so it felt like I had done some very significant thing, because it was to me. So I did that. I sort of obsessed myself with making the videos good, and they're not videos that you've seen. It's a different thing. I worked hard on that. I learned how to do all this stuff. I had to be uncomfortable doing videos like in my house around my parents. Like I had to tell them, ask them to be quiet so I could record, or do things like that. And it forced me to sort of interact with them, show them I was creating something, building something, and that was good for me. And I made a few videos, and that was good. I was able to say I did that after I'd felt like I'd failed everything for the whole year. I was able to just sort of be like, yeah, that was me. Like, and then I went on family vacation. Those are extremely painful. My parents stressed the hell out of me, and I got through that. And so if you notice, there's a pattern here. It's very focused. Like, it's like big sledgehammer blows to my brain. like most people have, like, I hang out with a friend for a few hours. Most of the time it's good, then there was a bad one, and it's more scattered. But mine, everything that affects me is in huge tsunamis. Like a tsunami wave just hits me, and then I sort of recover for a week, and then it happens again, and that pattern continues. What was I talking about? Yeah, family vacation. That was stressful, but I got through it. I was brave. Didn't make my mom cry or yell at me or anything like I have before. Yeah, I survived that. Came back. Then it was ready. Then I was ready to start. What the hell am I talking about? Oh yeah, so came back from the trip, and then all of a sudden we were moving out of my childhood home that I lived in for 19 and a half years. We were leaving, and like leaving on purpose. It's not like it wasn't lost in a fire. We moved from the suburbs to the city, and that was a big stressful thing. So like as soon as we recovered from the trip, we went into like panic mode of like trying to get everything cleaned and packed up to sell the house, and coming down into the city to like look for what we were going to buy. So we moved. That was extremely okay, sounding like a broken record, but moving's hard, especially since if I've never done it before, and it wasn't from like one suburban house to another. It was to a very different sort of living space, and we kind of screwed up the moving, where we didn't, like, we left too much of it to ourselves, where we should have just paid someone else to like pack it up for us. We tried to like take it on ourselves, and it was way too hard. And so that was a massive effort. There were many times where I could have just run away and hid, but instead I forced myself to participate, even when there was tension between me and my parents. Yeah, so we moved. Then, living in a new place, started running, and I started the coaching thing. And so that was, alright, I said coaching the little kids was hard. Coaching high school, oh my god, so tough. Like, I had to prove myself to all of these kids, and they're all different. The way you like try to coach an 18-year-old guy is so different from a 14-year-old girl. And like I had to, and like I'm only a year older than some of these kids. Like some of them were turning 18 and I was 19. And like I was, even though I'm 2 grades ahead of them in school, like some of them are older. I had to be really careful. It was just really tough, to be there, to try to walk that line between adult and friend and like kid, coach. Alright, anyway, yeah, did rowing. I ended up not sticking with it, because I just had too much going on, but that forced me to like be part of a team, even though it was just for like 2 weeks, and it was really tough, like being on a team again with people like older than me. And it was my first, I'd never rowed before. Like I've paddled a canoe, but I've never rowed. And so although I was the fittest person there, I was like, I had to learn that whole new skill. And so that was like a really good way for me to just have a clean slate, all these new people. I was able to prove myself to them without having to worry about anything that had happened before then. I'm really happy I did that, even though I didn't stick with the team. So went to all my classes, ended up dropping one, then another, and so then I had 3 left, and I ended up not doing the work for one of them, so I finished with 2 classes, but that's okay. That's not the point. The most significant thing is I joined a band, a real band, like a band that has fans and like makes money, and we're in the process of recording our first album, and we might play at a few festivals this summer. I'm really excited about that. I'll share that with you guys once I'm able to. But that just happened all of a sudden out of nowhere, and has been incredible, because it's how I have friends now. Like I've forced socializing, because we're like having to go practice, go to gigs where you stand around for hours just to play for 45 minutes. Music was a thing. Me playing music was a thing that stressed me out, because that was my whole like life's purpose in high school, and right before college I dropped all of it because I was afraid to commit to it. And so that was a thing that I had a lot of painful thoughts attached to, and so it's been so great to be able to cover up all those wounds with nice new happy memories, and it feels so good. It's that happened with the coaching thing too, where I'd felt like I'd failed a lot with sports, by me not reaching my best, me not reaching my potential, me not not going that path, but I was able to sort of give back to younger people and sort of replace the pain with good. I have that written down on here actually. So that I need to collect my thoughts and get through this. Yeah, so with the band, that we go out of state to play shows. I'm going to all these new cool places around people that I get. Like, I hate the fraternity, sorority people here at my school. Like, I don't really hate them. It's just I don't relate to them at all. I can't have a conversation with them. And I'm like finally finding where all my people are. Like, oh hey, that guy dresses like me. To follow the pattern. It might only be once a week or every 2 weeks that I do something with the band, but when I do, it's extremely significant. It'll be like the first time I rehearsed with them. That was huge. It was just a few hours on a Sunday night, but like that's what keeps me fueled for the whole week. It was like all that. And like when we have shows, that's like, even if it's only once every few weeks, it's huge. It's very significant and uncomfortable. Performing, everyone knows performing is tough, especially when you have high expectations from others and for yourself mainly. So me being in a band and me socializing so much more than I have in the whole year, me just being out, I'm interacting with females again, which is good. And that's something that a lot of the stressful, intrusive thoughts that I have, it would be about regretting things that I did or didn't do involving or regarding girls in the past. And so all that stuff has just I've been carrying it around with me for 2 years, where I haven't like been in a good enough state, or I haven't been going out enough to like have any sort of relationships or anything. All of that's sort of being wiped clean because I'm finally interacting. I'm out there again, and that's taken a huge weight off of me. I've reconnected with some of the girls that, like from high school, that I'd sort of left undone. I hadn't left the girl undone. I had left the situation where I'd sort of backed off and ran away instead of like apologizing or clarifying. And I'm emotionally mature enough and brave enough to be able to take those on, and that's been really great. So I cleaned up that mess. Been able to talk to my friends again. Like before, I would hang out with them, but I was so stressed out I couldn't have fun. I didn't know what to say. I was so worried about what I looked like around like my guy friends. Like they don't care at all. I was just so screwed up. I couldn't have fun with other people, and now I'm able to again. And I have a personality. I'm able to like talk to them and make them laugh without thinking, what should I say here, or like what would Eric do? Now it does it on its. I do it on my own. It does it on its own, being myself. Yeah. So it's same with family. I'm getting better about talking to my brother. My cousins, they are even more socially awkward than I am. Actually, I'm not that much anymore. I do things my own way, but I'm not really scared of talking to people, but they are. And so that's really been bothering me, because I'll go to like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas thing, and they just won't look at me. Like it's like I'm not a person. And that's not right, because most people are very close with their family, and it's not right for me to sort of emotionally invest in them every year, and for them to just not even like make eye contact, not even say hi, how are you? They might go, hey, and that's it, and that's not right. And so I've sort of fixed that by Thanksgiving. I didn't look at them at all to sort of say, I'm not going to keep doing this for you. You have to talk to me. And then for Christmas, I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I forced them to come hang out with me, like all the kids. I rounded everyone up, made everyone sit together, and we ended up having a fun time and like being a family again, instead of just sitting on our phones or like completely ignoring each other. And that was so good. And I don't know how I did that, but it was really tough for me to like tell these people, like other family members that I don't really have a good relationship with. I was like, come down here and we're going to talk to each other because we care about each other. And I sort of said that, like, I'm talking to you, like I see what you're doing and you're going to come talk to me. Like, I sort of confronted them about it, and I think it worked. And so that's not stressing me out anymore. So all these things are in balance now. So by me, I've climbed up the staircase. Things have leveled out. All the stuff about relationships that was stressing me out, that I'd think about late at night, that would keep me up, like, oh, why did I do that? I sort of replaced it with better things, or I just sort of smoothed it over, and that's partly the medicine, partly me going and actively fixing those things. What else? So today, how am I different? I'm feeling like myself again. And I don't mean myself like a year ago myself. I mean like childhood me. Like, I'm becoming who's deep down, like the one inside of me. That Eric is shining through again. And it happened all of a sudden. Like, it's been something I've been thinking about forever. Like, I feel like I'm trapped inside of this stupid brain or body, and I was. And now I'm able to be creative again. Like, I've been writing songs. I've been able to pursue interests. Like, I have hobbies. I'm still way too obsessive, but I'm able to do stuff. I'm able to, like, recording this video. Most of the reason I haven't recorded things is because it's so tough to get everything perfect. Like, the microphone, it could be a little closer to my mouth, but like, it's really easy to just put it right there. It's right there. That takes like 10 seconds, but to move it an extra inch so that it's closer to me, picks up my voice better, but is still out of frame, would take like 10 minutes of like messing with this, going to the camera, accidentally bumping it, having to put it back. Like, that's the thing that would drive me crazy. Or like getting the camera perfectly focused. Now I just said, who cares? Like, it's about the video, or like what I'm saying. It's good enough. Like, it's not gonna matter if I move the mic that much closer. And so I'm able to just like be more of a normal human, not be so caught up on things like that. Caught up in things like that. No, caught up on. Yeah, I don't get all tangled up with stuff because my brain's working better. And so what's the message of this video? You can do it too. It's really bad until it isn't. If you're hurting, that's good. That means you're climbing out. That means you're climbing those stairs. You're on your way. If you're really uncomfortable, I think that's good. It's necessary. You don't have to take the toughest path, but you do have to pick one. Like, you have to do something. And maybe it's just only one thing, where most people would have lots of different little things going on. Maybe you stay in bed for a week, but on Saturday you do that thing, whatever that thing is hanging over you. You don't make it your whole life's purpose, but just take the time you need and then build up your courage to attack that one thing in little bits, and that's one stair, and then you climb up another, and then all of a sudden you'll look up and be like, hey, I did it. And that's where I am right now, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So other stuff, to be honest, I don't care at all about reading poetry. Yeah, I was about to say something rude. No thank you is what I should say. I need to stop messing with my hair. Oh wow, that looks good. Yeah, I don't care at all about that. I do want to keep making videos though, so if you like this type of thing, because I can talk for hours about so many different things, so I will make videos. Keep adding me on Snapchat. I love talking to you guys. Shout out to Georgie, Ali G, Liz, who are my other friends on here that I actually talk to. Christina, Izzy, you were the first person to add me. Louie, I think your Snapchat name is Enema Princess or something. Maybe that was the other guy. I didn't add you at first, but I'm happy I did. Hold on. This is very exciting. Man looks at phone on video. A lot of people don't really send me anything. Chantel, if that's how you say your name. Matt, I think your name's Matt, who goes to Mountain Brook. What's up? I'll totally hang out with you if you want to. I'm in Birmingham a few times a month. I don't want to leave anyone out. Natalia. Yeah, that's how you say that. My Australian friend Rhiannon, Sandra, Santa, Sid, Sophia. A few people that I don't like Snapchatting. And Lila. Lila's my homegirl. Yeah, okay. And and I love reading comments, so please ask me anything, comment anything you want. I reply to 99% of the comments. Although, who in their right mind would make it this far into the video? Okay, yeah, that's it. Bye bye.